Welcome to This Week in Real Estate with Jonathan Harmon and Bryan Nale, your local experts on all things real estate in Middle Tennessee. Listen in as they discuss the current state of the market, the latest trends, and have a little fun while doing it. We do want to say the opinions voiced on this podcast are for general information only and not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individuals. All right, y'all, we're back with another week of This Week in Real Estate with Jonathan Harmon and Bryan Nale. Oh, buddied up on the couch.
I know.
we're bringing the real to real talk today. That was messy.
That's all right. Bryan had his hand on my knee earlier, and I had to swat him off. So it's not that kind of show, Bryan.
Not today, at least.
Not today.
We got a special edition today. This is gonna be really fun.
Yeah, we got two Joshes
lined up.
Josh
What are the
squared.
odds?
Josh squared.
Josh squared. Yeah,
Josh squared. That's right. So one Josh is sitting here with us now. The other Josh isn't here yet. I don't know. Is he late or did we tell him to come later?
I told him like 10:30.
Oh, okay.
Well, Trent probably told him that we normally start at 10:30.
I'm impressed that
we
we're
do.
kind of all over the road
Normally
sometimes
start
on
at
that
10:30.
start time. Yeah, there's that. But anyway, Josh Roman.
Yes.
Right? With Allstate Insurance and also the mayor. We have
a mayor.
A mayor. We've arrived.
We're big time.
The mayor
Oh,
of Lakeland, Tennessee, which is in Shelby County. And I guess, do you call yourself a suburb of Memphis?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
I'm very proud of our West Tennessee location.
Yes. And I did a little show prep. I wrote down 5 things that I now know about Lakeland, Tennessee, that I didn't know before.
Yeah. You would have had more time to do some more show prep if I didn't spring this on at like 9:30 this morning.
Pretty much, yeah. and I didn't get the text message until like 9:43. So yeah. But anyway, excited about this. Excited to hear about what's happening out there, and really, you know, we try our best to keep this show centered on real estate happenings and market and stuff like that. So I'd love to hear kind of what it's looking like in the western part of our great state. And kind of your take on that. I know.
Well, I love Murfreesboro. I love coming to visit friends, and there are a lot of similarities as far as being close to larger cities.
Right.
A lot of changes are happening every time I come to Murfreesboro. Something new, which is also pretty exciting. As far as Lakeland is concerned, we're kind of in that same boat, just right outside of a large city, but we're also making major changes ourselves. We have embraced, and Shelby County has embraced this thing called tax increment financing or TIF financing, and we've been able to use that to pretty much change the whole face of what Lakeland looks like. Just real quick, not to bore you too much on Lakeland, but we didn't have a property tax until 2013. So,
At all?
At all. So we were considered a bedroom community of Memphis. And so we've got a lake, aptly named Lakeland, right? Garner Lake, right in the middle of our city. And lots of trees, it's undulation, it's a beautiful place, about 13,000 people. And for the longest time, since 1977, we had an agreement, basically no taxes, no services, meaning that if we had trash pickup, it was like you lived rural and it was on our electric bill, water bill, our fire, ambulance, all that was on there. We didn't provide any of that as a city. Well, that changed when Shelby County or Memphis City Schools decided to give up their charter. So when they decided to give up their charter, all the municipalities, if you're familiar with West Tennessee, bigger names like Collierville, Germantown, Arlington, Millington, Bartlett, and of course Lakeland, we all decided we didn't want to be lumped in with what at the time was considered one of the worst school systems in the country. And so we all created our own school systems, which is now called the municipal school systems. Well, when that happened, we were one of the only, because we basically had this agreement since 1977, hey, just pretty much leave us alone. We want to be a very unique kind of
We'll hang out on the edge of the county.
Rural field community. Well, because of that, we only had an elementary school, even though we are larger than Arlington, which is the town beside us that had 2 middle schools and a high school. Well, we were happy for them to build them there and tear their trees down, tear their resources down, things of that nature. But when it came time to have our own school system, we had to raise about $100 million to build a middle and a high school, which each hold about 2,000 students. So or 2,000 students combined. So anyway, so long story short, once we got in order to do that, we had to pass a property tax. And so since 2014, we've been redesigning our city with the resources of a property tax, with tax increment financing, where Shelby County helps us. We've been growing our retail sales tax immensely. We went from almost $500,000, which is crazy to think about, for a city in retail sales tax, to now next year we're projecting over 4 million. So we've grown our retail sales tax by 10 times without really changing what it feels like to live in Lakeland, Tennessee.
Yeah. So one of the things I was reading, you guys have a business park. It's an International Harvester business park. It looks like it's on. Is that on Garner Lake, or is that?
No, we do have a park.
There's a pond of some sort in the picture that I saw.
Yeah, we do have a park, but that's it's not necessarily a business park. It's just it may have been. It was given to us by International Harvester many years ago.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, there's a little.
So it's a city park.
It's a city park.
I see.
But it's pretty unique because this is where the International Harvester, which has now since gone out of business, but because they donated it to us, basically as long as I think it was the last living person, it had to maintain like an executive meeting place for International Harvester. So that reverted back to city ownership about 10 years ago. So I can see why it would have been listed as a business, but it's not anymore. Now as far as business is concerned, we have 4 main corridors. So the city of Lakeland is right on I-40. Mm-hmm. And so we've got one like Highway 70, I-40, and then Highway 64. And so because we have 3 major highways, if you will, going through our town or kind of bordering our town, we've decided to design our city in a way. And we went through about a year-long process, what we call the Pulse Committee, redoing our land development regulations and everything. And now we have created 3 main business districts so that any growth that happens is going to happen there, and we can still maintain the rural feel of the rest of our town or city, and it's been working out great.
Well, and that's awesome because in a way, living in Murfreesboro is incorporated in the mid 1800s, and you see how Murfreesboro has shifted and grown in reaction to some of the other things that have happened. So take, for example, in the 1930s, everything about Murfreesboro centered on what is our downtown, right around the square, and anything a mile off of the square was relatively rural. Mm-hmm. And then in comes I-24, right, and it is not a mile off the square; it's several miles off the square, mm-hmm. And so that sparks growth on another corridor. Well, then they acquire some more land, and we do the Medical Center Parkway mm-hmm. area. And then you have Veterans Parkway, which is where the next growth is. So all these different things, and it just kind of...
And now you got Cherry Lane coming right behind Veterans.
Exactly. Yeah. And so it's like, on the surface, if you were to come in right now totally fresh and look at the city as a whole, it looks as if it's just kind of haphazard, right? There's no main vision on how the city has developed. Well, that's because it's happened over the last, 200 years.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Well, and I remember when I moved to Murfreesboro in the late 90s, and I remember hearing people say things like, hey, when they kind of designed the layout for the growth plan of Murfreesboro, those leaders at the time thought maybe one day Murfreesboro will have 60,000 people.
Exactly.
Maybe we'll get to 60. And where are we now?
135, 140, somewhere around there.
130, 140, yeah.
But you guys, because of how long you kind of waited and put it off and put it off and put it off, and then, something pretty major, catastrophic happened adjacent to you, right? You guys said, okay, here it is. And you have the luxury of the interstate's already there. Like there's a lot of identity. Skeleton is there.
We also had longer to prepare as well.
Yeah.
And the reason why I say that is because when we went to build the school system, we had a very vocal older crowd, if you will, that didn't want it in our city. So we were sued multiple times to not build a school for our population, which is kind of crazy to think about. It's now, if you go look it up, Lakeland.
All my kids are grown.
Yeah. If you look it up now, Lakeland's one of the top 5 school districts hanging with Murfreesboro, Franklin, all of what you would consider as the major great school districts in Tennessee.
Right.
We're hanging right there with them, and it's become a major calling card. But because we had to raise that $80 to $100 million, and we only had so much money, we couldn't do anything else investing in ourselves, if you will, until we got the school system built, because we could have risked not getting it.
Sure.
And so while people were trying to stop the progress, we're saying, okay, after this domino falls, what's next? So we've been planning the next thing and the next thing, and the next thing. You may not have heard, but Memphis is, kind of has a crime issue, and we butt up right on the outside of it. And so one of the first things we did is said, okay, once we have a great school system, what do we do next? What can we do to lower crime? The citizens of Lakeland voted themselves a property tax increase to buy 2 motels that had problems with drug overdose, that were not what you wanted, and committed greatly to our any crime issue. And so we raised our property taxes 15 cents, spent about $6 million and bought 2 motels, tore them down. One of them's going to be a community center. The other one we don't know what to do with yet. It was going to be a substation, but that didn't happen. But anyway, long story short is that our crime now, if you look at our monthly crime report, we have less than 10 incidences a month. We are the safest city in Shelby County, West Tennessee that I know of. We have completely, flipped the script on, what it's like to live in, Shelby County, Tennessee.
Yeah, that's awesome. And again, that being able to know what and now look, 100 years from now, maybe Lakeland's totally different. I mean, it's just who knows, right? But in the right now, you guys are new and fresh and relevant and current.
Oh, 100%.
Right, and that's a pretty cool thing.
When you get to design your city.
Yeah.
It's like you're playing Sim City in real life.
Yeah.
Oh, you get it 100%. Like, who gets that opportunity?
Yeah.
I'm getting that opportunity.
That is so cool.
And with the backing of citizens that want to see change and are okay with a certain level of what we call smart growth, as most people do. So it is happening. We've now become somewhat of a destination because we've got a few higher end restaurants like Villa Castrati, things like that, where people. Almost any time I go in there, I graduated high school not too far, probably in Tipton County, about 20 minutes away. And I see friends of mine from Munford all the time that they've decided Friday night, Saturday night, they want to drive to Lakeland and have a nice meal as opposed to going downtown Memphis.
Yeah. That's cool.
The folks who oppose the school district, I'm assuming they're still in the community and they didn't leave. What's their mindset now?
That's a great question. And it's kind of hard to answer because once something happens, people become, supporters. But, there was a group of people that moved right afterwards.
Yeah.
A lot of them decided they wanted to downsize. And the funny part is because their home values almost doubled during that period of time. So once we brought in the school system, we went from $120 a square foot to $160, $70 a square foot where we are now. In order to get the same amenities that we have, like you would have to go to Carterville or Germantown. They're all around $180 to $200 a square foot. So anyway, to answer your question, a lot of them stayed in the community and have turned into supporters. They realize that, we weren't there to do anything nefarious. But if they get the opportunity to raise their hand and say, we still don't like these people, they are, because so our vice mayor right now is Michelle Dial, and our county commission, probably like you guys, runs a lot of the county. And it's very unique to have a very small community represented on such a large scale. And the seat that she's currently running for represents almost all of Bartlett, which is the largest, city, and small. So in order for that, she would pretty much need all of Lakeland's support, but it would be huge for Lakeland to be represented on that county commission. They can't see past that. They saw that she was a school supporter. So even 10 years later, when we're having amazing success with the school, they're still trying to be detractors. But, we've done everything that we said we were going to do. We didn't raise taxes. It wasn't what they expected. We did exactly what we said we were going to do. And I think we earned a lot of people's respect along the way.
Well, and the reality is schools drive real estate values, residential real estate values, which in turn drives commercial and everything else.
Without a doubt.
And so having an accredited, recognized school system, still maintaining, you look at like in Eagleville, right? Eagleville's prices are through the roof right now, and they're Rutherford County schools, which gives them that street cred, but they're still very much Mayberry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so you kind of get a little bit of the best of both worlds, right?
It's exactly us.
And they've got a couple of high-end, wonderful restaurants and places, little destinations. And, you know, you park out at the sidewalk and you walk down the one street to the one red light. You know what I mean? So it's probably a little smaller than Lakeland, but still the concept is the same.
What we're dealing with right now is trying to decide what piece we want to play in their larger growth around us. So we have Ford Blue Oval, which is basically was supposed to build electric Lightning trucks and a battery plant. It's going to employ like 5,000 people about 20 minutes up the road. And they have, you know, everyone from a line worker all the way up to executives. We've seen a lot of, you know, as expeditions around town with Michigan plates, possibly looking at homes. And so, you know, each community in West Tennessee right now that plant's been delayed as people try to figure out what electric looks like over the next 10 years, you know. But the battery plant's up and running. It's employing high paid skilled workers, and they're looking for places to live. And we've decided that we're comfortable, you know, playing that high end residential role.
Yeah.
For Blue Oval.
And you have the schools to back it.
Yes.
Right.
Yes,
So that's great. Tell me about the India Cultural Center.
The India Cultural Center?
Yeah.
It's funny you ask about that because they have first of all, it's right across the street on one of those major 64s. I've never been in it, but I spoke to a gentleman that owns the only fireworks store or stand. It's called Fireworks City. It's right on Canada Road at I-40. It is grandfathered in as the only fireworks store in all of Shelby County, and it's in Lakeland, Tennessee. And every July 4th and New Year's, you know, they're backed up for miles waiting to get in this place. But I asked Kevin Bailey yesterday at a chamber function. I said, "Man, there's a lot of cars at your place right now. What's going on?" I'm not going to try to mispronounce the holiday, but it's an Indian holiday. And he said, "Hey, like, they love fireworks for that holiday, and it's helping his business. So in turn, it's helping retail sales tax in Lakeland."
Sure.
And
I saw some pictures of because there's a temple and a cultural center.
Okay.
And it's beautiful.
I have not been in it, but I need to go check it out. I need
Yeah.
to at least thank them for all the sales tax they're bringing.
Yeah. Has that been there a long time, or?
It has as far as I can remember. Yeah. It's a place that most people go to or know about because on both sides of it there are places where you buy plants. I forget what that's called. Nurseries, right? Yeah. And so as we're doing our yards, you know, especially in the spring, you know, we'll end up at one of those, either Dan West or the other one across the street. And we'll always pass that.
I love culture. I love different nationalities and the things we've got this weekend. For example, up on the square, we'll talk about this at the end of the show. But we've got the Love Your Neighbor event. My friend Abdu puts on. And his crew, and you know, there's like 40 different countries that'll be represented, and so it's traditional food, dance, song, all of this stuff up on our Civic Plaza, and it's a phenomenal event, and it's just so cool to get out within our little city, to get out of our city and realize just how big this world really is. You know,
I'm so glad you bring that up, and the reason why is because when the biggest complaint against the municipalities going to their own school district was they're saying, "Oh, well, they don't want to be a part of Memphis for cultural reasons." No, it's not it. We felt like we could do it better and have local control of our education system. Sure. And
it's very American, by the way. I'm good with all of that. Yeah.
But Lakeland is now one of the most diverse school systems in all of Shelby County. We have a cultural night. We just had it like 2 weeks ago, where you can sign up, whether, you know, whatever culture. The Venezuelan booth was popping this year with their food. I mean, it's one of the biggest nights of the year at Lakeland Preparatory School, which is our 5th through 12th grade.
That's so cool.
Nice.
I want to go attend that.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah, it does. Sounds like a blast. So let's talk house prices. You said you threw out some numbers, some prices per square foot. Is that about where you guys are sitting right now?
I think we're right around 160. Yeah. Year over year, we're down per square footage in the 3 to 4% range. We're also down in the price per home. That would
Sure.
translate to 3 to 4%. Year over year sales are about about where they should be. We're actually seeing an uptick, and we're hoping for a pretty nice.
Talk about transaction count.
Transaction count. Yeah, we're actually seeing an uptick.
We are not. So, we're cruising along. We're definitely below, 4 or 5 years ago, and we're even down. We're just kind of in that like this kind of a thing, just a little bit of a fall off. I mean, we're starting to see the price, some prices slip here and there. What we've seen is just an overall, whether it's the number of listings or the number of closings, all of those counts are down. So when the transaction count dropped and the listings dropped simultaneously, it really had no effect on price. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you had an equilibrium.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we just shifted the equilibrium. Everything went down. And now we're starting to see listings come on at the same pace, but the transaction count has slipped a little further. So the only logical conclusion.
So to impress my daughter, who's currently in economics AP, I would say you previously had a move along the curve, and now you're experiencing a shift.
What? Yeah. My man. As a former econ teacher, you just sung to my soul. Yes, absolutely.
The man has an MBA from Babson U.
I think he gets it. Yeah. So anyway, it's been really interesting to see how this happened. And I started in real estate in 2009, and 2009 the market was way worse than it is now. But it was also way more predictable. It was actually easier to maneuver because it was just bad. Right. So everything that you said, no, it's going to you're going to be on the market for a year. You know what I mean? You're going to take a bath on it. But when you go and buy something, somebody else is going to take a bath on that.
Right. So the two work themselves. I think when I left, I got an update. I think 55 days was our average time on the market.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just ahead of ours. We're sitting at about 42-ish, somewhere around there. Depends on the month, 40 to 45, let's say.
We have a lot of new construction, which is, they're doing rate buy downs with new construction. They're helping with closing costs with new construction. And so because we are in growth mode from a city and the tax increment financing that I discussed earlier, it relies on basically blank ground and creating something, and you get to use a piece of what was created to invest back into the project.
Correct, yeah.
And so we have really been embracing that, that new construction where we want to see, and that is what's been helping the transaction.
So are you guys given? Are they so hungry for that growth? The TIFs are going even to new construction, like subdivisions and things.
Yes,
because
it has to have a mixed use component to it
for the greater good type thing.
For the greater good. But
we're seeing TIFs here as well, but it's a little harder to prove what the greater good is.
Well, in West Tennessee, it comes down to jobs. So it doesn't have to be a park. It doesn't have to be something that is a public amenity. You could just be creating jobs that will help the sustainability of our county, create retail sales tax, because Shelby County relies on a percentage of the retail sales tax to go into their school system. So every dollar that we create, I told you at the beginning of the show that we created 10x on our sales tax for the city. Well, that means the contribution we have to Shelby County schools, former Memphis City schools, our contribution has gone up 10x as well. So when it comes to a TIF that supports the county, it's one of those, rising boat lifts all tides, a rising tide lifts all boats, right? Yeah. So that's kind of, that's the greater good. A lot of people, when they think about the greater good, they think about, what do we have to add, whether it's a park, a dog park, or they
fire
think,
hall, whatever.
Yeah, they think of that, but it could just be as simple as helping your neighbor with a job,
especially in a county where the population is actually falling. Overall, right? I know. I'm sure everybody has seen Nashville, Davidson County surpassed Memphis in population. Was that last year? Either last year or the year before. And this is the first time ever,
I didn't know that.
And there's some migration from one to the other, and then just net migration out, net migration in. And it makes sense. That is absolutely for the greater good. If you guys are increasing revenues to pump into a system that kind of got dumped on.
Yes.
I'm sure they're still recovering. I mean, it's hard to recover from
what?
The whole, like, giving up the charter and
Oh no, they did it because they were in debt and they wanted the whole county to pay for the debt, not just the city of Memphis to pay for the debt.
That's what I'm saying.
So they thought they were outsmarting everybody, and at the end of the day,
That's what I'm saying. So it hurt the county.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and actually, if you've looked at the news right now, they're talking about that same group of people. They're trying to recall the whole Memphis City School Board, I believe it's 7 seats. And so the county commission, which is mostly Democrat, voted to do that, went to the mayor's desk. The mayor vetoed it. And so now I believe tonight it's going to go back to the county commission, and they need 8 votes to override the mayor's veto. So to have a recall election of every school board seat because of what the county commission believes that they've been doing to hurt Memphis City schools.
That's crazy.
Wow.
That's crazy, y'all. What a mess. Thank goodness you
Local
guys are.
Politics matter, man.
Man,
They really
more
do.
than some of the others for
Yeah.
sure. So you mentioned the subsidized or the builder incentives on loans. That's one of Bryan's favorite topics, by the way.
I love that.
He loves that forward commitment.
Yeah, the forward commitments are great.
Money, yeah, good stuff.
So I got 2 questions, and one of them we can save for the last question if you want to. But like when you're looking at this and you're thinking, okay, we've got the opportunity to play SimCity in real life. We got this growth. How do you maintain the identity and balance what the community wants Lakeland to feel like, and what the experience of living in that community is, with the opportunities for growth, and making sure you kind of just do it smartly and then in the right way?
And I want to tack on to that question. How do you even figure out what the community wants?
So we went through.
That's a great question. Yeah.
So the great question, by the way. We went through about a 2-year process where we held a lot of meetings. We've held meetings over the last 10 years that we've been doing this, and we usually have somewhere around 40 or 50 people from the community show up, tell us what they want. At the end of the day, they end up telling us that we want a Publix. We want that they end up equating what they want with things that are known to them, like amenities. But what we try to pull out more is, okay, if we got all of that, do you care where it ends up? And so we tried to ask the next question of what it looks like. And we came up with, like I said, those 4 main business districts. But to Bryan's question, we actually, for the first time last week, experienced that, where we had, so Canada Road runs right through it's a major intersection off of I-40. It's very valuable retail store frontage that could be. We had someone come to us and say, hey, we would like to build homes on Canada Road. And we looked back and we said, hey, these are not in our business corridor. If we allow them to build, homes here, we never have to worry about a vape shop or something ending up on that corridor. So we did. We approved it. We downzoned from commercial to residential and gave up what many people would consider very valuable retail store frontage in order for us to design the city that the residents said that they want to see. So we actually got to see it in action about 2 weeks ago, which was pretty cool to see.
That's interesting.
Great way to pivot. So Halloween's coming up. Yeah. And I got to know, this year you don't have to make a decision because Halloween falls on a Friday. But in years where Halloween falls on a school night, like a Tuesday or a Thursday, as the leader of your community, how do you make sure that the kids go trick-or-treating on the right night?
The right night?
This is a critical question.
It is a critical question. And
there is only one right night, just so you know.
The crazy thing is people actually ask that. They'll call up the city hall and they'll say, what night are we trick-or-treating? And I'm like,
Halloween.
Do you know what night Halloween is? Well, it's a Tuesday. Are we going to do that on Tuesday? Are the kids going to get out of school the next day?
No.
The kids are not getting out of school, and they're going to be knocking on your door at 5:30. So the answer is we trick-or-treat on Halloween. Some people may try to change it, but I'll tell you this.
They're wrong.
I'll tell you this.
I'm just going to say it.
If you try to change it, you better be ready to buy twice as much candy, because we're going to show up on Halloween, and then we're going to knock at 5:32 on the day that whatever random day you decided was going to be Halloween as well. So buy twice as much candy. You don't want to be that guy stuck with no candy, right? And then you got to go get your change jar that you've been saving change. You're giving out quarters.
Apples. Yeah, packages of crackers, whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good stuff.
Oh my gosh!
But I think it's great when people do that, because we get twice as much candy. Or like the trunk or treats, go hit that up. Then
See, that's different.
Trunk or treats has changed
different.
the trick-or-treating game
They
completely.
really have.
Yes.
They really have.
Yeah.
I don't remember as a kid. I don't remember a trunk or treat ever happening ever. number one. And I don't remember anyone ever having any doubt as to what night you're supposed to trick or treat.
Right.
It didn't matter if it was raining. It didn't matter.
Hey, it rained on Halloween this year. Sorry about your luck.
Yeah, I guess your costume got wet.
Your parents have all the candy you need now because they didn't give it
No,
to the trick or treat.
we went in the rain.
Well, we know the 6 houses in the neighborhood that give out the full-size bar, so we're at least hitting those up.
100% we are.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, that's funny. That's an excellent question, Bryan.
Thank you.
Well done.
Appreciate it. Anything else you want to say in closing?
Yeah, man. First of all, thank you guys for having me and for highlighting Lakeland, Tennessee. Lakeland, Tennessee is a major up-and-coming community in West Tennessee. And every time I drive to Murfreesboro, I think of, oh, wow, that is something that I would like to see in our community. And we're fortunate enough to we're starting to get enough buzz. We're starting to get enough people looking at us that I think that we will start to see some of those amenities that you guys enjoy. So just thank you for having me on.
Well, I personally love Memphis. Just so you know, I love Memphis. I think it's a fun town. I think that there's a lot of cool things to do. I love the music. I love the barbecue. I love the people doing flips down the streets. I love Memphis. The breweries are great there.
The fried chicken.
Yeah,
so good.
I love Memphis.
Man.
I have never been to Lakeland. However,
you see the Canada Road exit every time you drive.
I know,
Memphis.
I get that, but
next time, what you're going to see is the 2025 state baseball championship sign as you come in. So that new school system that they said, oh, you're never going to be able to compete in athletics. Well, we just won Division II state championship last year for baseball.
I will definitely be stopping in Lakeland the next time.
Awesome.
I'll contribute to your sales tax a little bit.
Oh, we'd appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Hey, do we have a This Is Real?
We do.
Our buddy Josh can
Josh, come on in, man.
participate.
Yeah, Josh is the other Josh.
Oh, there's the other Josh.
Josh Square.
All right.
We're just here.
Come on. All right, so this is our favorite. Josh Rosales, by the way, good to have you.
Thank you
Good to
so
see you,
much.
bud. So this is our favorite section of the show. This is real. This is actually pulled from an MLS listing.
Oh, wow.
Not necessarily locally. These are shared all over the place. So we just spend a little bit of time and marvel at the wonderfulness that people put in their homes and then try to sell. So this
person definitely bought tickets to Wicked. And
This
was
is
there
fantastic,
on the
Trent.
premiere night of Wicked. I guarantee.
Are they glass walls?
Well, being a Wicked fan, this is the Elphaba room then.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Do they have a Galinda room as well?
Oh, a pink one in the
Would that
house?
be all
Yeah.
pink?
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know.
I'd rather be in the green room. This is lovely. I like the.
I don't know. The snake pillows is giving off a vibe that, I don't know.
There's so look at the ceiling. Is that all? Are those all? What? How did they create that effect up there?
You know what it looks like? You ever see those endless tunnel things?
Yes.
With
yeah.
the two mirrors or whatever?
Yeah, it looks like that.
Kinda
Yeah,
looks
there's
like that.
An optical illusion with some mirrors.
I just got it, guys. Do you see the video camera above the window?
Ooh,
Is that what that is? I think you're right.
Yes. This is a party room. This is a party room.
This room might be in other places on the internet. I'm just saying.
Or maybe it's one of Pete Diddy's.
It could be. This room has been named in a lawsuit and in a court case.
Pete
Yeah.
Diddy's room.
Yeah, and that's why the guy on the right
Yeah,
is smiling so
I knew P.
oddly.
Diddy was going away. I didn't realize his house was up for sale, and you could look at the pictures on
That's spectacular.
Real Tracks.
That's a good one, Trent. Nice job, bud.
Thanks.
Yeah. Man.
All right.
Good find.
Yeah. Want to go on a pro tip or?
Yeah. So, do you want to play the? Yeah.
Hiding my.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll ask you some questions. We'll let you talk about it.
It's the Wally.
Are we back? Are we back?
Yeah, we're back.
All right, cool.
we
We
just
are back. So Josh Rosales and I actually used to work together at First Horizon. So I've known Josh for a long time.
I didn't
And
know he was that old.
yeah, look at that gray in his beard, man. Look at the ball. I mean, I still hanging on to this, but
I gave it up. Man,
Yeah.
this was at 19 years old, so there's that.
Josh has got does a lot of great things in the community, and he's going to actually run our pro tip today. He's going to talk about real estate and retirement. Josh Square, take it away.
I want to throw this out there. I'm really excited about this because a lot of financial advisors that I know don't give enough credit to including real estate within that overall picture. So I'm pretty pumped to hear what you got to say.
Yeah, well, a lot of financial advisors, their clients are not able to invest in real estate or alternative assets within their portfolio. It's limited to stocks, bonds, and mutual funds. So what I do with self-directed IRA solutions is we allow individuals to invest in alternative assets like gold and silver and real estate and investment properties and long-term rentals, short-term rentals, tax liens, private lending, all this stuff within your retirement plan. And, my wife and I, we have a self-directed 401k, and we also have a portfolio with Edward Jones. And when we had our financial review with our financial advisor, our portfolio had grown 7.5%. And I'm just like, wow, what? However, on the flip side, with our retirement dollars invested in real estate, we are growing that at a rate of 25%. So, you're looking at an exponential growth when I can take my retirement funds and, be able to retire with tax advantage benefits where I want to retire, not where I have to retire. And that's where a lot of people, I forgot the statistic, but so many people live paycheck to paycheck. And when you retire what, $200,000 maybe in a 401k? What's $200,000 going to get you? Absolutely nothing. But if you turn around and use your retirement dollars of 401k dollars or assets that you have in an IRA with a Fidelity or a Charles Schwab that's not really making anything, and you shift that into a self-directed checkbook control where you're directing those investments on behalf of your retirement plan, and you invest in real estate, invest in crypto, invest in gold and silver, but especially real estate, you will see potential to see an exponential growth, and you're actually making it to where you're retiring where you want to retire, not to where you have to retire.
Yeah.
And so that's the benefit of self-directed. And you're absolutely right. I wish more financial advisors, and I do have some that will call me and say, hey, our client would like to do this because we're not able to. It's still their client. We just a resource and a tool for them to help their clients get to where they want to
Well,
be.
I think you just hit on it. A lot of financial advisors don't really know how to include some of those things in those self-directeds. And even, here's the thing, a lot of folks will tell you that including real estate or whatever especially real estate, into your retirement, the barrier is the barrier to entry, right? How much does it cost me to invest in a real estate property? And not just the dollar amount, but the time and all of that. Well, there's ways to invest in real estate that don't involve you buying a house and renting it out. There's REITs, there's all kinds of things.
I was going to ask, is when you say invest in real estate, do you mean like owning investment properties, or do you mean like pooling your money into a REIT and things more of that nature?
Yeah, you could do
all of the above.
All the above.
Okay.
You can purchase a piece of property. You can invest in like tax liens. You can tax deeds. You can invest in. There's so many, especially with venture capitalists, those that are looking to raise money for a project. They're like, okay, there's $44 trillion in retirement funds sitting there here in the United States. And that is one of the options that a lot of venture capitalists are not tapping into is, okay, who's going to invest in my project, but do you have an old 401k? An average person changes jobs every 7 years. So it's like, what retirement funds do you have that are not doing anything that you can invest with my company, where we can invest in real estate to get you potentially get a larger return? So it's all the above. Self-directed to invest in alternative assets. It's incredible. There's a few things you can't invest in, but the majority you can invest in almost anything you want to invest in.
What's the risk? Because anytime there's a reward, there's a risk. So talk about that risk reward.
Higher the reward, the higher the risk.
Some of these.
Yeah, there's a risk being in the stock market, and there's a risk in real estate. And I think the risk is not doing vetting out the company that you're going to be investing with, looking at the Better Business Bureau, looking at their track record, looking at their how many properties have they, just looking at doing a really good research. And then also asking those around you, you know, is like, hey, have you invested with this company before? Or, you know, I say success leaves clues. Like in this room right here, I bet if someone were to come in here and say, how would I invest in real estate, or all four of us, we can come up with the answer. Because why? Because we work with investors day out and day in and day out.
Or we're doing it ourselves.
Yeah, or you're doing
Right.
it yourselves to say, hey, I trust this person, and I can vouch. You know, there is going to be some risk, but you know what? I know that this person has a long track record of success, and they're going to vet these properties out, and so having that trust, I think everything is built on relationships, our names, our trust. And so there's always an upside and downside, and that's a conversation that, you know, we can have.
Well, and I would throw out there as well, if you're messing with something as important as your retirement, then you owe it to yourself to study a little bit before you do anything, right? So
Definitely.
if you're super intrigued in real estate investing, and somebody says, well, you don't have $100,000 to put down on a house or whatever that you're going to manage as your own rental property, but you can invest in a REIT, REIT, and you have never heard that term before. Well, please do not listen to me, and make sure you go and study what a REIT is first, how it works, who's a good administrator of one of those, you know, and dig a little bit on that before you just throw somebody a check.
And there's some companies, you know, even with the companies that my wife and I, you know, were involved with, you know, it's minimum buy-in is $50,000. There's some out there that are minimum buy-in is $15,000. You know, so it's like, you know, most 401ks out there have a good amount of money, and if someone's really interested in, and I know we're in the life we're running, you know, day in and day out, 100 miles an hour, but today we're 20, next day we're 25, 30, the next day I'm going to be 49 this year. And it's just like we turn around and we look at life, and it goes so fast, and it's like I've spent time hustling and grinding, but not building my retirement.
I think it's important too, when you're looking at risk, to understand, like to Jonathan's point, the underlying investment. Like it's too easy for financial advisors or, you know, any investment strategy guru to dupe people, you know. And you look at locally, you got stories like the Bob McLean. Nationally, you got a Bernie Madoff. So when you get your account statement, look and see what the funds are invested in, and then go and look. You know, don't just look at the statement.
If you don't know, freaking ask. And
Exactly.
if you don't like the answer, ask some more.
Do your own
Exactly.
research into the. All right, so I'm invested in this mutual fund and this crypto and this real estate investment trust, and so all right, well, my statement says they've done this, but let me go and pull them up on look at their financials online. Let me look at make sure that's a real company, make sure it's a real investment, and it's not just something that this guy's put on a statement for me.
I've got some experience using a self-directed IRA.
Yeah.
though.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because I had a family member that, like you said, only retired with a couple $100,000, which, you know, sounds like a big deal until you use the 4% rule.
Yeah.
So basically, 4% rule says that that's how much you should pull off your account every year in order for that money to last you through retirement. So on $200,000, that's $8,000 for the whole year. Well,
Not possible.
Yeah, this family member was able to use a self-directed IRA, buy a house for about that same amount, rent it out, and houses are supposed to rent for the 1% rule, which is 1% of the $200,000 you put. So that's $2,000 a year. So they went from an $8,000 a year income to a $24,000 a year income, obviously minus some expenses of managing the property, but they at least doubled their income with the exact same money by using a rental real estate strategy through a self-directed IRA.
That's
Yeah,
exactly
it's
right.
powerful.
Yeah.
That's huge. And then, I mean, here's the thing. They did that in that moment, right? That's what they were able to do. If you have just a little bit of forethought, you know, at 49 or whatever, and you're able to have 3 of those by the time you're ready to retire, suddenly you're very comfortable.
Yes.
Yeah. And what I love about is especially long-term real estate investing is as long as the cash flow is right, as long as the numbers make sense, you're getting that income every single month off of it. Simultaneously, the property is going up in value. So at the end of that, you're getting income and you're getting growth. And especially if you live somewhere like Lakeland at the right times, and all of a sudden it blows up. Yeah.
So I've got an old 401k, right? Like I've left my company, and in my 401k I've got $60,000. now I'm at my new company and I'm getting paperwork from HR saying I can roll my old 401k over. Should I do that?
Yeah, I would say it's really good to diversify. So like my old 401k from my company, you know, you can either leave it there or you can roll it over. Before I got into self-directed, I was like, let me just leave my 401k where it's at. And then most people don't even know what their 401k is invested in.
Right.
You
If
know?
they work at 4 places, then all of a sudden they've got stuff all over the place. Yeah.
You know, with the self-directed, I would highly encourage, you know, to have a consultative call to kind of see what is out there in regards to self-directed. And then, of course, definitely reviewing your 401k. And if self-directed is a vehicle tool, a strategy that is they can use, then definitely I'd highly encourage them to take advantage of it. I tell people this is not something, it's not for everybody. You know, this is not something that I'm going to go out and try to sell to everybody, because it's not. You have to understand it. You have to know the ins and outs of self-directed.
But you should be aware of it.
Exactly. And so, but it's not for everyone. However, for those that are interested in learning more about it, to take that your old 401k, roll it, a direct rollover into a 401k. And then
Not a 401k, but like just an IRA.
yeah, an IRA. So if it's like pre-tax,
Because it quits being called a 401k when it's not in that company's plan. Is that
exactly.
correct?
So you have an old 401k.
Yeah.
You can roll that money pre-tax into a traditional IRA or a Roth IRA if you want to do an in-plan conversion. And that's the really cool thing about Roth is that if you have a 401k and you have pre-tax and you do a conversion, now it's Roth and you're paying the tax on it, then you can invest in real estate and it's tax-free. And the growth, as long as it's in that Roth IRA, the growth on that is tax-free as well. And so that's the power of a self-directed investing in real estate in a self-directed Roth IRA.
This is a dumb question. All right, dumbing it down and it's a question that I honestly have. So I have a dumb question for myself. As a mortgage lender, if somebody comes to me and they say they've got $250,000, but the house they want to invest in costs $350,000, is there any way to blend a mortgage into their investment?
No.
Okay.
So when I say that, if you have a self-directed retirement plan, whether a 401k or an IRA, and you're going to use those funds to purchase a home, you have to use a non-recourse loan.
Okay.
And the non-recourse loan, there's a handful of banks out there that will offer a non-recourse loan, because the loan is, you're not personally guaranteeing that loan. Your self-directed IRA or 401k is going to be guaranteeing that loan. And so with that, you'll have to get a non-recourse loan. However, as like for yourself, you are able to charge a point or whatever those negotiations are with getting paid on that. But yeah, you can't blend.
So you would have to either buy that property with the cash value of your IRA, or you would need to use your cash value of the IRA to buy it and then bridge whatever gap there is with a non-recourse loan.
Exactly. And usually it's around 35 to 37% down is
Okay.
what you'll need to put on that property. And then the rest of it you can get with a non-recourse loan.
Okay.
Now, my question, that's interesting. We each have questions so there's a lot of, like if you do a 1031 tax exchange, for example, and you buy another rental property, you know, there's all kinds of rules on how that property can be used. You can't live in it. You know, you can't do your own flip. Like there's several different, or you can't not do your own flip. You're not supposed to manage the property, right? What about in a self-directed? Are there rules associated with that? Can I manage my own property? Can I do my own repair work on that property? You know, how does that work?
Same rules would apply. You can't change a light bulb on the property. You can't have any disqualified persons. So say your parents or your grandparents, your
It's purely
son.
investment and I can't touch it.
Exactly. We'd have to hire a third party.
So just like a 1031.
Yep,
Okay.
exactly.
Interesting. Very good. So these are the kinds of things though, right? Those are the kinds of questions that if you don't know, you don't even know what you don't know. And so before you jump head into this, which I'm a huge fan, right? But before you jump head first into something like this, you need to make sure that somebody's there to kind of give you a playbook the ins and outs, and so you don't shoot yourself in the foot. I mean, honestly, you know,
Yeah.
like I wouldn't think about if I hadn't already been told that, I wouldn't think about, well, I can't rent this house to my cousin. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't think that I can't go over there and do whatever maintenance.
Well, your cousin would not be a disqualified person.
Okay, my brother. How about
Your
that?
brother.
Yeah, whatever. But either way,
Again, have someone
there you
ask.
go. So cousin's fine, brother's not, right? What about second
Hey,
cousin?
we're not in Alabama.
Yeah, yeah. Oh man, here we go. Oh, now we're gonna start getting the hate mail. But you know, you have to have a property manager. I manage my own rental properties, but I couldn't manage it if it was in that.
That's correct.
Yeah, and here's the other thing, we're in the middle of a big renovation. We're living in one of our own rental houses.
That would be a big no-no.
That would be a huge no-no, and all of a sudden, I've sparked all kinds of tax implications for myself.
Yeah.
Just by doing that, even though it's mine, it's not like I can't use it however I want.
So because
Or I
you're
can, but I got to pay for it.
so
Exactly.
since you're living in that rental house now, does that preclude you or exclude you from ever being able to 1031 exchange that property because you've established a residency in that
Good
property?
question.
That is a great question. I don't know the answer to that.
Interesting.
That's a great question.
I think it's a time thing, isn't it?
2 years.
Possibly, yeah. But here's the thing: we don't call that house our residency.
Okay.
Since we're in the backyard, basically,
Yeah.
we're still calling the front
Yeah.
our main
You're
residence.
getting mail to the front. Yeah. I hope the IRS isn't watching.
Bring it. Their AI just picked it up. I'm getting audited this year. Sorry, Wes.
We all are.
Yeah. Sorry, Wes. My accountant just went, no. I bet he's going to fire me. He's like, I'm out.
Awesome. All right.
Show, guys.
Community, what we got, Jonathan?
Big community stuff. Let's see. Shannon Wheeler just announced TEDx Murfreesboro.
Yeah.
That's happening in November. Is that right?
I thought it was. I thought it was next year.
26.
Oh,
Yeah,
is it? Okay.
yeah.
I'm sorry,
Now,
Shannon. I
tickets are on
butchered that.
sale, and there's only 100 of them. The most
Yeah.
common question I've seen on Facebook is, where can I see who's speaking? Do you think that people are waiting to see who's speaking before they buy the tickets? Or since there's only 100 tickets available, should people just go ahead and jump on
Well,
it?
here's what I know about Shannon. It's not going to suck.
That's a good point.
So, you know, if it's not going to suck, I'd say go for it because you're not going to find a ticket.
You can always get value out of it.
Yeah,
There's always gonna be
it's
value
it's
added.
just not going to suck. I know at least one of the speakers that he's having for sure. It's not going to suck.
Cool.
It's going to be worth every penny of that. It'll be at the Walnut House. It's going to be fantastic. So there's that. Next weekend, let's see. Do we have anything no, we don't have anything this weekend. Next weekend here at Cedar Glade, we got 2 different Halloween things going on.
Wait a second. Are we not having a Halloween party on Halloween?
I'm so glad you asked, Bryan Nale. So we are having a Halloween party. It is a clean comedy costume party.
Yep.
On Halloween night. So our friend Gideon and the Clean Comedy Collective, that's a lot of C's. They're doing their thing on Friday night. You get $1 off every pint if you come in costume.
Yep.
It's going to be a lot of fun. They're going to pick on you. It's going to be great. And then the next night, November 1st, because our favorite Halloween performer does his own thing on Halloween and does it well.
There's a reason.
There's a reason. Mr. Bill Stieber will be playing here on Saturday night. It is our Halloween hangover party. So come in costume if you want. Come in your PJs if you want. Whatever.
And Bill Stieber's awesome because
Dude, he's
his
so much fun.
vibe is very like voodoo, New Orleans bluesy music, and he sounds great. And
He's weird and wonderful and funny and
it'll be a fun
a little
night.
spooky,
Yeah. It'll be a fun
he's
night.
great. He's so much fun. So that's what I've got going on. We got other stuff coming, but that's down the road.
Let's find a couple of bills to come on next week.
Couple of bills.
A couple of bills, or maybe some
That's like some
Johns.
bills.
No, we already got
$100,
John.
yeah.
Jonathan.
Like the mafia?
Maybe we'll figure something out. We'll just get a couple of guys. We could have the Karens next week.
We could. Or Chad's.
Chads. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know who it is.
They'll just be hanging out.
Flexing.
All right, that's a wrap.
Oh
man.
my gosh. We went way downhill real fast. Trent, please stop this.
Thanks, y'all.
So Diwali happened yesterday.
Oh, that was just.
Thank you for listening to another episode of This Week in Real Estate with Jonathan Harmon and Bryan Nale, your go-to resource for all things real estate in Middle Tennessee. Be sure to like, share, follow, subscribe, and leave us a 5-star review. We will see y'all on the next one.
Now for the nitty-gritty. Premise Mortgage Company is a subsidiary of Premise Bank, a member FDIC. Premise Mortgage NMLS number 1894879, BK number 1042893, ML number 1894879. As always, all loans are subject to credit approval and product guidelines. Equal housing lender.